All right, let's talk about something that feels, well, kind of like magic. You've probably experienced this, right? You type a question into a tool like ChatGPT, and the answer that comes back is just wow. It's almost spooky how good it is. So today, we are going to pull back the curtain on that magic. We're diving into the world of large language models. You've probably heard them called LLMs, and they're the engine behind this whole incredible revolution. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about that feeling of magic. Then we'll get right into what an LLM actually is. After that, we'll look at how these things even learn, what they're capable of, and finally, we'll wrap up with why this is such a big deal. It's really a journey from that initial whoa to really getting it. All right, section 1, a new kind of magic. You know, it's all about moving from awe to understanding, and that awe is real. I mean, when you first use one of these things, it doesn't just feel like a computer program. It feels different. It feels like you're talking to something that can think, that can create, and maybe, just maybe, that it actually gets you. And that really gets to the core question, doesn't it? I mean, how on earth can a computer, just a bunch of circuits and code really, write a poem that actually moves you? Or figure out how to generate code that works? It just doesn't seem possible. It feels like it completely defies logic. But here's the thing, and this is the whole point of our explainer today. It's not actually magic, it just feels that way. What we're doing here is taking a journey from that feeling, from that perceived magic, to understanding the brilliant, and I mean brilliant, mechanism that's actually running the show. And yeah, that's the journey we're on right now, together. Okay, so if it's not magic, then what in the world is it? Well, that brings us perfectly to our next section. What is an LLM? Let's decode this thing. You know, the name itself is actually a great place to start. Let's just break it down. Large. And we mean large. It's trained on a frankly insane amount of text data. I mean, think about a huge chunk of the entire internet being its textbook. Then language. That's its whole world. It's designed to understand and generate human language, our words, our sentences. And finally, model. This is the key part. It's not just a giant storage bin for text. It's a super complex system, basically a neural network, that's been built to spot all the rules and patterns inside all that language it read. Okay, here's the best way to think about it. At its very core, an LLM is really just an incredibly powerful prediction engine. You know when you're typing on your phone and it tries to guess the next word you're about to type? Yeah, it's basically that, but imagine if your phone had read pretty much the entire internet and could guess not just the next word, but the next sentence, the next paragraph, the next chapter. It is literally predictive text on steroids. And that right there is what makes this such a massive leap forward. Think about old school AI. It was all rule-based. A programmer had to sit there and painstakingly write out every single rule by hand. If a user says hello, you say hi. You can imagine how rigid and brittle that was. LLMs, totally different game. They aren't given a rule book. They're just shown a mountain of data and they figure out the patterns for themselves. And that's what makes them so incredibly flexible and creative. Okay, so learning patterns instead of just following a list of rules. That's a huge deal. But it kind of begs the next question, right? How does a machine learn? How does that even work? Well, let's take a look inside the digital brain. I want you to picture the biggest, most enormous library you can possibly imagine, like a library that contains almost every book, every article, every website ever published. That's basically the training data. The LLM's job is to read all of it. But here's the catch. It's not reading for meaning like we do. It's reading to find patterns, to see how words and ideas connect. You can really break down this whole learning process into 3 main steps. First, it just soaks up all that data. We're talking trillions and trillions of words. As it's doing that, it starts to find connections. It's building this unbelievably complex web, figuring out that king is related to queen, that Paris is related to France, that baking involves flour and sugar. And finally, once it has that massive web of connections, it uses it to do its one single job, predict what word is most likely to come next. That's it. Now, you've probably heard tech folks throw around the word parameters. It sounds complicated, but here's a simple way to think about it. Imagine the LLM is a giant machine with billions, and I mean billions, of tiny little knobs. During training, the machine is just constantly twisting and turning these knobs, fine-tuning them a little bit at a time, trying to get better and better and better at making those predictions. And when we say large language model, the scale is just, it's hard to even wrap your head around. A model like GPT-3 has more than 175 billion of those little knobs. 175 billion. Each one of those is a tiny adjustment representing some relationship it learned from the data. That mind-boggling complexity, that's the large part. Okay, fine. So it learns patterns by twisting billions of knobs, but so what? What does that actually let us do in the real world? Well, that brings us to the LLM toolkit. Let's look at what this thing can actually do. Well, for one, because it's so good at recognizing patterns, it can be surprisingly creative. You can ask it to write a poem, like this haiku it wrote about itself. Green server lights blink, a world of words in the code, silent knowledge wakes. It knows to use that 575 syllable structure because it's seen that pattern thousands, probably millions of times in all the data it read. And it's not just human language either. It can also understand the patterns in computer programming languages. You can literally describe what you want a piece of software to do in just plain English, and it can spit out the code for you. Why? Because at the end of the day, a language like Python is just another language with its own grammar and its own rules. And here's one that's just incredibly useful in day-to-day life. It can take a huge 10-page report that you do not have time to read, and it can boil it down to the 3 most important bullet points. It just recognizes the key concepts, the main patterns, and gives you the highlights. For productivity, that is an absolute game changer. So if you put all these pieces together, this is the toolkit you end up with. You've got summarization and analysis. You've got content creation, everything from emails to poetry, language translation, answering really complex questions, and yeah, even generating code. It is an amazing, versatile set of skills. And the wild part? It all comes from that one simple-sounding core function, just predicting the next word. So that's the toolkit. Pretty impressive, right? But with all this power, we have to zoom out and look at the road ahead. We've kind of cracked open the machine to see how it works. So now, let's talk about the big picture. Why does any of this actually matter? And look, if you take away only one single thing from this entire explainer, please let it be this. An LLM is not a conscious mind. It's not thinking. It's not feeling. It doesn't understand the way you and I do. It is an incredibly, unbelievably powerful pattern matching engine. It's just mimicking the intelligence it found in all that data it was trained on. And that distinction is absolutely crucial. Which leaves us with one last big question to chew on. We've created these digital minds, and they're getting smarter and more capable every single day. So the real challenge for all of us moving forward isn't